baby beard.
Waited for you, Fry.
This episode traumatized me as a young person.
My head is hurting again.
Where's my firstborn son?
God does not care about me masturbating.
Your singing is bad and you should feel bad.
First get out into a bus, so you're like, oh no!
Yeah. I don't like myself becoming the protagonist of this podcast.
You've been in
Yeah, because you haven't learned anything.
Oh, shut up and take my podcast.
Oh, lovely.
Thanks.
Welcome, everybody, to Shut Up and Take My Podcast, a Futurama podcast that pits episode against episode in bloody, glorious gauntlet battle for your entertainment. And as always and forever, I'm joined here by Phil.
I'm not so good.
Joined here by Ellen.
I am deeper than where they put the mole coffins. And we're joined by
Sean.
Who
Question mark.
spotted the tunnel penis.
What?
I did.
Oh, there's a penis drawn in the tunnels that they go through.
When they
I
go
didn't see
down,
that.
there was a big tunnel penis with the two balls and the penis.
Now,
I'm thinking
Sean.
of a... Oh, yeah, we should probably address,
We should address
the elephant in the room.
Whatever
The
do you
American
mean?
in the room.
Yeah.
Address the
Why-
yank in the room.
Why are you speaking in American accent, Sean?
So I'm not bitter at all. There was talk last week about me being the least popular Baby Beard member, and
For one person.
for one singular person.
Yeah.
You gonna call him out?
No, they don't deserve it. I called them out last week at the top of the episode, basically because all the podcasts that they listen to is white male Australians that I kind of just flew under the radar. I'm like
Whereas-
everybody else.
Yes.
Ellen and I stand out.
Yeah.
Female, British.
I mean, yes,
So
my
you-
ethnicity is female. Thank you very much.
So you're gonna
And
You're going
her-
to try and blend in with all the other podcasts in the world
Yes.
that are voiced by Americans.
You're getting it.
Obnoxious
You're getting it.
male Americans.
our fan's fiance is American, and so I'm giving her the largest sample size of an American accent by doing the entire episode.
So rate our accents.
This is my native accent, actually.
Yeah, so's mine.
It's flawless.
From native from the female lands.
And this is...
Femoria.
And if I...
It's very good.
Bras are optional on the sacred land of Femoria.
Can I visit Femoria?
No.
No, yeah.
Oh.
That makes sense.
And, all feminine hygiene products are free.
Hygiene.
Hygiene. Yes.
Tax-free or
sorry,
just free?
It's our native patois.
In Femoria, we eat hygiene.
Yeah, but surely in Femoria you don't have to have a euphemism of feminine hygiene products. You just say menstrual kit.
Yes.
Blood pads.
Because
you don't need to be ashamed.
Kit. I'm trying to...
That sounds like
to-
something in a tabletop RPG.
I'm trying to make
Take your
up
menstrual pack.
my menstrual pack. I actually have a menstrual pack. I have like a little, not quite fanny pack, but like a little Ziploc bag that I keep just kind of like emergency feminine hygiene.
Does it have a
That
logo?
might be the most off topic we've ever gone.
What
Has
do
it
you
got a
mean?
logo on it?
But I have to say, everyone should do one because I read this post from someone who was like,
Everyone?
Yes, I was.
Everyone.
No,
Us
but
too.
yeah, they were like, I was hiking with two dudes, and like I realized I got my period mid hike, and I had to kind of like hang back and like do the whole sweater around your waist thing. And then one of the guys, he was like, "Oh, hang on, you guys go ahead." And he had like tampons and stuff on him.
He had a
'cause
menstrual pack.
Yeah, he had a menstrual pack, and it was
For
great.
the ladies in his life.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
What would the
great.
logo on the
considerate,
front of
you
that menstrual
assholes.
pack be? Like, what would the logo be? Like, you know how a first aid kit has the cross?
It would be someone doubled
red-
over in
A red cross?
No, like a red, drip.
cross. Yeah,
Like
it'd
a drop of blood.
It'd just be a drop of blood.
Yeah.
It's accurate. Or
So
that
In a
weird,
white circle, it'd be
or
great.
that weird blue liquid that
Oh, yes. yeah.
ads think that women leak.
Wait, what? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Look, as an American, I just didn't know that. So
Yeah,
thank
of
you.
course. It's nowhere near the land of Femoria.
So why are we here? What do we do? What do we talk about? A
I
little
don't
show
even know at this point.
called Menstrual Rama. Futurama. We're up to... Phil's had enough of this shit. We're up to Season 6, Episode 13, the Futurama Holiday Spectacular, which is what?
It's a holiday spectacular featuring Futurama.
Did you know what
Holy shit! Oh my god!
Do you know what the episode...
It's like the Star Wars holiday spectacular.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the one where they go to Chewbacca's family
Yeah. Yes,
and they
it is.
and
Where
Carrie
you see
Fisher
Boba
is
Fett
like
for the first time.
Carrie Fisher is on so much drugs, like she's
Yes.
just off her eyeballs, and she does this weird song of the Star Wars theme, but with lyrics to the sacred day of the Wookiees.
Oh, it's great.
It is the most bizarre thing.
And Luke
ever associated
and Mark
with Star
Hamill
Wars.
has like 5 layers of the orangest foundation on his face.
It's very strange.
Because he just had his car
I was
accident.
going to say, is that
hadn't he?
post
Yeah.
motorbike
So they
accident?
didn't want to scare the children, but
Before
they did it.
YouTube, that was really hard to come by. Like it was one of those, VHS black tapes where you have to find it on the market, and the Forbidden Holiday Spectacular.
It sounds like
It's
one
the
of those.
same thing we had to do to watch this episode.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm about to
We
lose
had
my
to-
voice.
We had to hunt in like a bargain bin to find this lost episode.
Yeah,
of
there's a
Futurama.
special code name. You have to kind of like you have to find the last existing Blockbuster store, sneak in the back because it's obviously like closed. The facade is closed down
Yeah.
for business, but you can get in the back and then you got to say a secret code word and then they'll slip it to you.
Weirdly, the code word is Netflix.
Ooh. Were you winking
I
at
was
us before?
winking, and then I realized it was not going to carry.
Right.
And then I forgot why I was winking.
Well, I thought you
I
had something
heard
in
it.
your eye. You heard it. Heard the
I heard the wink. Yeah, came through in the tone.
audience.
They even blink in unison.
God.
Love that sound.
You make a joke about finding the VHS tape, but the thing is, we're in a bit of a bind because that was the last episode on that disc. And
we don't have the next disc yet.
I don't
Oh, no.
yet. And they don't have the Blu-rays of Futurama for some reason, so I'm going to have to buy the DVD.
It's time for another side mission.
Yes.
Or if we have any loving fans who would like to mail us
Send us the Blu-ray.
Blu-ray,
Yeah.
Send it to Baby Beard Media.
express post, please.
I've set Planet
we will
Express. Send it via Planet Express.
Oh, yeah, nice.
To our P.O. box, which we will have.
It's just our house, isn't it?
I don't think we should give away.
I think we should.
I don't
our
want to
address to
give my
100
address,
listeners.
but we can give Ellen's address.
Yes, perfect. Oh wait.
We live in the same house.
So, guys, the director for this episode is Ray Claffey.
we had him before.
Would you like to try that again?
Well, I was going to say Claffey, but it's 2 Fs, and we had this problem last time where it's clearly Claff.
It's clearly.
It's
It's clearly
Clearly
Clefairy.
Claffey.
Yes.
Ray Claffey.
I'm sure he gets that all the time.
That's why I changed his name. It's originally Claffey.
Very.
He is back from the Lethal Inspection.
Oh, okay. I think I missed that.
You
episode.
weren't here for. That's when we had
It's the
Chris.
Chris was here. It's the episode where they find out the origin of Bender, and he finds out he's not.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
The
right.
connection
He's
of
not
Hermes
up-
to Bender.
He's not up to code. Yep, got it.
Not up to code. And so Ray Claffey, fuck me.
say it.
So the last time he was on as a director, I said that I talked about his beginnings on Futurama, but I didn't talk about his beginnings in show business, which he was the assistant animator for one Teenage Mutant, for our British fans, Hero Turtles.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The English can't handle
can't-
ninjas?
No. Apparently not.
No. So if you find the comics, Ellen, and find it says Hero Turtles because
That's right.
ninja
Hero-
is too deadly.
Hero
It's-
turtles,
it's
but
too
they
dangerous.
still use traditional ninja weapons.
But they never use the sharp ones.
What?
Have you
What
noticed?
do you mean?
The sai and the sword, they never actually
They don't
cut
use it.
anyone with
No.
them.
Yeah, they just kind of like use them as blunt instruments,
Yes.
do they?
That's right.
Don't they?
Like, just give everyone a bow staff.
Yeah. Who's the party dude?
Michelangelo?
Yeah.
He's a party dude.
like the actual Michelangelo. I dig
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Just very quickly, which turtle, if you had to turtle us,
I've always liked Leonardo, the leader.
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah,
You're-
boring,
no, I-
as boring as that is.
You would
Yeah.
you would be the leader out of all of us? You would be the Leonardo of the group?
I think Sean's feeling a bit
No, I'm mining. I'm mining.
like
I
you're,
feel like Ellen is
the precious mounting.
Is Ellen Raph
Does
or
Splinter still make
Michelangelo?
all the decisions? Like,
yeah, he's kind
okay,
of
sweet.
there.
Yeah, I'm a leader then. Cool.
Yeah, there you go. I feel like I'm maybe Raph.
He's the one with the sigh, right?
Yeah.
I can't.
yeah.
Right, what are the things?
So Leonardo's the leader. Raph
Mike-
is the hot-headed rebel. Donatello's the geeky nerd that fixes everything, and Michelangelo's
his
party,
dude. Well,
He likes pizza,
Yes, he does.
oh shit!
pepperoni pizza,
I mean-
specifically.
Oh, I can't
Bit
eat
of
that.
law
I'm
for you.
vegetarian. Fuck. But I do.
He likes vegan
But
pizza
I do
now.
disrespect the church enough to be Michelangelo, the
Wait.
painter. So
Ellen is Casey Jones.
what? Isn't she the one who like got busted for all that cocaine?
No, he what?
No.
Are you talking about
missed that
April,
episode.
April O'Neil?
No, Casey, the hockey mask wearing badass.
Don't know.
I am not gonna lie. I never watched
That
Teenage
is some
Mutant
turtle
Ninja
law
Turtles.
for you. April O'Neil gets with Casey Jones.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right, let's.
Whoa! the writer for this episode is Michael Rao, back from Proposition Infinity.
Yeah.
Aha.
Which
This is
the
a much
Bender
fluffier episode.
Amy
than
episode.
Yeah.
And I looked him up on IMDb. There are 14 Michael Raos on IMDb.
Uh-huh.
The most
Which
popular
one's
one.
the cutest?
Do
Rank
you ever
'em.
watch Arrow?
No.
The guy who plays Deadshot on Arrow is probably the most popular Michael Rao, and next is
I
our
asked
boy.
the cutest.
Maybe him.
I mean, he's a TV guy.
Let's not get into a row about this.
On Deadshot, you never see his face, though.
What?
Anyway.
So the air date for this episode is November 21st, 2010, which is important because even though the series, that season ended, they left it a few months, and this is, of course, their holiday spectacular.
What day did it?
November.
November. Close. They're close. Yeah.
Yeah,
Holiday adjacent. I mean, it starts earlier every
Isn't
year.
that
right?
kind of the time that most holiday
The specials happen?
start coming out?
like
Don't know.
I don't know.
how does it work in Australia? I haven't watched normal TV in a long time.
I
Like,
mean,
Oh, that's
do we
right.
have holiday-themed things?
I'm sure we do.
like Neighbours or Home and Away?
I've never watched Neighbours or Home Away in
I know
my
in
life.
the UK, the episode of EastEnders that's on Christmas is always fucking depressing. Someone always dies in a hospital bed or something terrible
That's
happens.
pretty accurate.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Christmas
EastEnders
is a
for
very
you. Nothing
depressing-
happy ever happens.
What about Coronation Street?
Haven't watched that.
Holidays are very depressing times, people. I feel like Futurama really steered into the...
Into the terrible tragic aspect
Yeah.
of holidays.
Introducing, and this is the only character that's going to make any sort of return, is Ruth and Esther, the oil wrestling
oiling
robots.
Wrestling
Yes.
They
robots.
appear about 5 more times.
The
They're-
nasty... what are they? The nasty fembots.
The nasty fembots.
Yeah.
One
I
will-
feel like we've already had quite a few robot floozies, but these ones have decided
names.
to name them and bring
Name
them back later.
Well,
We have
these,
to get-
they have a profession
They do.
and a dedication to the art.
They did it
Thank you very much.
500 million years.
500 million years they're wrestling in that petroleum oil. You gotta...
In 4.5 weeks of oil.
Everyone, go to your local gas station, get a pump out, and pour a little on the ground in honor of.
Yeah.
If,
Do not do that.
if we ever start off a Patreon account, one of the goals, the stretch goals, will be that if we make a certain amount of money, Phil and myself will oil wrestle.
Yeah.
And Ellen will film it and put it on the Instagram.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm sure that's what
And-
people want to see.
I have it on record
I'm
now.
very glad that you didn't throw me under the bus and just be like, "Oh, put Ellen in oil."
No, we're very progressive.
Thank
on this
you,
podcast.
thank you. But shouldn't
If you
Clearly,
want to,
people want to see the
Doesn't
bearded warriors go at
doesn't
it.
that mean that I should wrestle someone?
Well, no, because I want a chance of winning.
You'd be the referee.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'm pretty slippery. Oh, there's a lot of male, toxic male energy being thrown around
Friendly
here.
competition.
right
Is
here,
it?
right now, yeah.
You're trying to usurp the leadership position.
Wrestle for it.
you want...
It's more professional wrestling. We'll script it.
Okay. Yeah.
Make it more. Introduce a chair. All right.
Whoa.
As much as I love these tangents, I really think we should
wanna-
talk
do you wanna
about
get onto the episode?
I would like to, yes.
Do you want to?
Is that okay?
How do you want to do that? What do you want to do?
I think someone should run down the first plot.
The first plot.
Oh.
yeah.
I
Well,
almost slipped there.
I think
Who wants to do Christmas?
you should do
I
it.
thought you were going to nominate. Okay.
Well, fine. I'll take up. I forgot.
Xmas.
Xmas. I'll take up
Xmas.
Xmas. Can someone else take up Xmas? Because
You want me to do it?
yes, please.
So, like all of the episodes or vignettes in this episode, this is the story about how you take a holiday, in this case, Xmas. They're confused about how to properly celebrate it. In particular, Fry this time, because he's from the past and it doesn't sound like Christmas. The figure from that holiday arrives, in this case, Santa.
Robot
Robot
Santa.
Santa.
Robot Santa.
He sings a song, which finishes with how you should properly celebrate it, which is you need a tree that is coniferous, There aren't any, so they go to get this thing. In this case, they go to the Norwegian seed vault to get a tree.
They go to Fargo.
It happens to be contaminated with germs from the chemical warfare vault
which is right
door.
next door and has like a flapping window.
Yeah. What's all this block? It's not germs, is it?
No.
Turns out it is contaminated. And when Nixon steals it, it turns into a giant mutant tree that throws explosive pine cones everywhere. Too many trees, too much oxygen. Bender sets the world on fire. Everyone dies.
Yay!
That's the end of the first vignette.
It doesn't just get set on fire; like implodes in
it's
a
like a firestorm covers the planet.
It's because the whole world is covered in trees.
It's like 80%
and then
oxygen.
The whole world catches on fire.
Yeah. Which is a thing that they thought might happen when they detonated the first nuclear bomb, by the way.
That all the trees would catch on fire?
No, that the atmosphere would catch on fire.
And they did it anyway.
They did it anyway.
So they went, this is probably might happen.
This might happen. They weren't like, definitely it's going to. They're like, it's a possibility it might happen.
I feel like if you have a possibility of destroying the entire world, then maybe you should just nah.
Yeah.
I think they're like, well, if we're wrong, it won't matter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well.
Someone, I read this tweet, and someone was asking someone who diffuses bombs, and they said, "Oh, don't you feel stressed?" Yeah, Mega Bomber Man. Yeah, and they,
I think there'd be more people for that job if that's what it was called.
Well, aren't there several different types with different color schemes?
Yeah.
Anyway, they
Some
were
of them can kick bomb. No, sorry.
Yes,
they were like, "Do you get stressed out because of how insanely stressful your job is?" And they're like, "Well, if I get it wrong, I won't know.
Yeah,
It won't
what a
matter."
way to live your life, right?
What do we think of this?
Are we doing it episode by episode?
Or should we
segment
just
by
introduce all the
segment?
plots and then talk about all of them?
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Who's on Robonica?
Do you want
Your face.
I
to...
think.
I want to know, Phil, can you describe Ellen's face at that very moment?
I have a live
what was that?
It compressed like she was eating a gallon of lemons.
A gallon? But my mouth would have to open up to consume all the
She
lemons.
just finished.
It's another one of our stretch goals, by the way. Get Ellen to eat a gallon of lemons.
You guys oil wrestle, I'll eat lemons. I love it. I think I can do the Robonica episode.
Cool.
Just copy the thing I just said.
Yeah.
But insert.
Okay, so the Bender wants to celibate.
Celibate.
Bender's celibate. The
He
floozies
is,
are just
isn't he?
for show. So he wants to celebrate Robonica. It's a robot holiday that he totally didn't make up.
That's right.
It's not Jewish at all.
Yeah, and the way that you do it is you get some nasty fembots to
How does he explain this though?
through song.
That's right.
Oh.
That's right.
I sense a
He
theme.
hid instruments under people's chairs.
He did, yes.
Yeah, so he explains in songs he's stolen a lot from Hanukkah, basically.
Yeah.
Like he's got a dreidel, but it's
No.
rigged to always lose.
Be bad.
There's chocolate coins, but I don't know. Look, it's not important. Anyway, you need these nasty fembots to wrestle in petroleum oil. But
For how long?
For 6 years?
6.5 weeks.
6.5 weeks.
6 years.
6 years.
It may as well be.
Yeah. Okay. So 6.5 weeks. It's very important. But there's no more petroleum oil. We used it all up, and there's no more there's no more organic material that has been reduced to petroleum oil anymore. But there might be if they drill deep enough.
To the
so
core.
the Planet Express team does that. However, everyone who is organic on the ship is killed and compressed. And after 500 million years,
Yeah.
500 million years, Bender's still around. Oh, would you look at the time? And all of his friends have turned into petroleum oil.
Except for their hair.
Yeah.
Except for their hair, I
Or
don't
maybe
know.
just Fry's
Just
hair.
Maybe,
Fry's hair.
All the
maybe
products.
Fry's hair's not organic. Maybe he's wearing a toupee.
Yeah, maybe.
What?
Because
We know
in
he's
500 million years it did not break down.
But we know
so-
he's going to go bald from that future episode, right?
Yeah, Lars.
Lars. No,
Lars.
wait, didn't all this shit burn off? I don't know.
Yeah,
Continuity, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he takes it to present to the fembots, but turns out they were able to wrestle in 4 weeks of petroleum oil for 500 million years.
And it's still going.
Yeah. I mean, it's not clear why the oil would be used up by rolling around in it.
Yeah.
It's not as if they're going to absorb it.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
evaporate.
No, so I'm not sure why he thought
Maybe
it wouldn't
it's like
last.
because oil is really important for robots. Maybe it's like a moisturizer.
You think it
Well,
would
'cause
absorb into the metal?
Well, right, because
Right.
if you were, or if like people were wrestling in oil as they are wont to do,
Yeah.
oil is like a moisturizer. So would some not like start? Like,
Yeah, but they're made of metal, not skin. They're not porous.
we don't know that.
If it's anything like the Wizard of Oz, they need oil
Some,
Yeah.
and they get
okay.
dry.
some metals are porous, are they not?
Okay, all right.
Someone write
Maybe.
in.
It's not in my wheelhouse.
We're going to read up on mathgetball first.
Yes, yeah, okay.
Speaking of mathgetball,
Speaking
should
of
we
mathgetball.
pass it over to you,
Yeah,
Sean?
so- For the third segment, it is the story of alley-oop. I'm just basketball terms. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Traveling. It's a story of Kwanzaa. So Hermes and La Barbara, they bring over all their friends, including what's his name?
Bubblegum Tate.
Bubblegum Tate
Tate and Barbados
and
Slim.
Barbados
Holy
Slim.
shit, I just said Bubblegum Tate. I'm so sorry.
Bubblegum. If you want
I'm
a
really
bubblegum Tate.
sorry. I'm really,
he
really
brings over
sorry.
everyone to introduce them to Kwanzaa. Then they realize that the candles that they would usually use, which are made of
Beeswax.
beeswax, they're very central to the
How do
plot
they
there.
realise that they've got the wrong candles?
Oh, well, they broke out into a
Oh.
song.
Yeah, who broke out into a song?
By Coolio, the
Yes.
returning Coolio for the second most appearances on Futurama. Behind, by the way, who do you think has the most guest appearances on Futurama?
Al Gore.
This is Al Gore's fourth appearance. This is Coolio's third. So Coolio breaks into a Kwanzaa rap.
Yes, he
Then they
does.
realize that the candles are not made of traditional beeswax. They are only made of normal wax.
Just normal wax, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Just
they
for
venture,
like
they venture
paraffin.
off because all the bees are dead. All the bees have, parasites on them. They are dying off. So they go
Yes.
to the deadly bee planet.
Space bee hive
Space bee
thing,
hive.
yeah.
They cure it through, they cure them of the parasites through the power of Kwanzaa and
Spirit of
unity.
Kwanzaa.
And everything else that goes along with it. But because of that, the bees learn unity, and the bees learn that they hate the humans and want to kill them. And so they do.
I mean,
How do they kill them?
By stinging them and eating them?
they turn them into...
Turn them into
Oh, that's
candles.
right. Oh, my God. Oh, and they straight up kill Kwanzaa Bot
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Off screen.
off screen, which means you know it's bad.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Kwanzaa. Oh, they killed him.
Oh, okay. and then there's the final segment. Al Gore
Al
segment.
Gore.
Gore comes in front of a blue curtain to say that's the end of the holiday
That's
special.
all,
Thanks
folks.
very much.
Do any of you guys remember what the sponsor of the episode is?
Gunderson's?
Gunderson's nuts.
Unshelled nuts.
Unshelled
Well, they're
nuts.
unshelled at the beginning, and then they're just delicious Gunderson's nuts later.
Yeah, because we
Maybe
see
they-
the bender function that helps him be.
Oh, there's two bender functions.
Yeah,
He's-
there's the unshelled. There's the shelling.
He's a nutcracker.
He's a nutcracker.
There's a nutcracker.
And he also, his head can spin around as a drill.
Oh.
Which gets him out of the ground after he's...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
he's been buried for 500 million years.
Yeah.
He just goes... just pops out.
Weirdly, even though the Planet Express ship imploded from all the pressure, Bender's not affected at all?
No, he's... Like, the part of his ship next to him all gets crushed.
Yeah.
I think he even acknowledges it. He's like, yeah, I'm fine.
How does that... you know what? I don't need to know.
Yes.
This is also an award-winning episode. Won the Environmental Media Award.
Because
Because of Al Gore
just-
saying
Al Gore.
sunlight is good.
Because he just gets to be smug and be like, I'll just have some clean energy, please. Can I get change for a Nobel Prize?
I guess because even though they
Yeah, that-
don't save the planet, they're like being like, these are things you can do. But when we did it, we just died.
I mean, I guess all three have environmental concerns.
Yeah.
The bees
So
are...
the bees are dying.
That's the thing that we're
the trees
having.
are all dead, and we need
Oxygen.
oxygen. And the one we
Kwanzaa,
just-
the
one we just talked about,
The-
big colony collapse in the bees.
that's the third one.
What was,
What happens in
what was the
Robotica?
Robonica? Oh, there's no oil.
Oh, no oil.
No
Yeah.
oil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
because
pretty
this is
environmental.
the second time that they've won, and the third time they've been nominated. So the last time they won was the problem with poplars.
Right.
They didn't win for
Crimes of the
Crimes
Heart.
of the Heart.
Crimes,
yeah.
which is the first Al Gore episode, I think.
That's a great
I
one.
think it's
But
not, but
Maybe not.
yeah.
who's to say?
this is great. I love these segmented episodes because this is the third of 6 in total. So they drop anthology of interest from now on, and everyone's going to be different. So later on, we get one that's 3 different animation styles,
Oh, that's sick. I love that.
and we get another one that's just craptastic Saturday morning cartoons like Scooby-Doo style and
Right,
a few
yeah.
others. So we got some
So
fun
the anthology of interest lives on in spirit.
in our minds, in Kwanzaa
The
spirit.
spirit of the holidays.
I feel like we're like half an hour into this episode and we haven't even
Oh, it doesn't.
discussed it.
No.
It's because, yeah.
I had a lot of fun. It's weird because you got to put it into context of it isn't even really part of the season.
This
It's
is not-
because they had
no.
their mid-season hiatus, and then a couple months later they just put this as here's a bit of holiday fun.
Do you know
for
what I realized? This is a House of Horrors.
House of Horrors?
Yeah, from
Treehouse of Horrors.
Yeah, Treehouse
Yeah.
of
Oh, yeah.
Horrors.
It has the same kind of feeling in a way that some
It's-
of the others might
It's
not.
vignettes,
Yeah.
and all of them like via. Like they all have a bad ending,
Yeah.
but we are secure in knowing that our favorite characters will are not affected. Like this is not canon at all.
Yes.
Doesn't the anthology of interest have the same? Like, so
Kind of. Like Bender
dies.
Dies. Witch
Leela,
Leela kills
Leela murders
everyone.
everybody.
Yeah.
Bender becomes huge and destroys the whole city.
Yeah.
And then he does die
Then he
because
dies.
Zoidberg
Yeah.
defeats him.
Giant Zoidberg.
Well, I think it's more of a Treehouse in Horrors in that it's holiday themed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the anthology of interest is just it's kind of like, hey,
Hey.
what if basically?
This reminds me of the Treehouse of Horror where Groundskeeper Willie dies 3 times, like in every episode, in every
well, that's right
segment.
because they do one that's The
Gets
Shining.
like pitchforked.
Yeah.
Is he Freddy Krueger in one?
No, that's an earlier one.
That's an
but
earlier.
this is where he also where everyone's being eaten at the school.
Oh God, that's horrifying.
Speaking of janitors dying,
Yeah.
What?
Oh, Scruffy!
Scruffy!
it doesn't matter though.
No, well,
Because
everyone dies.
next year, everybody on Earth dies. So it really doesn't have that big an impact. I do like that they just sort of gently kick him and
him.
are like, oh, he killed Scruffy, but, whatever.
But the spirit of the
There's
holiday.
like a second. It wasn't even like, oh, it's just Scruffy's dead.
Would you
I
look
think
at?
all 3 of us went, oh.
Would you look at that? But then everyone died, so we're like, well,
I become really attached to Scruffy after his romantic rendezvous with Washbucket.
yeah.
Like, I'm really.
Yeah, I'm hoping for some satisfying kind of wrapping up of that story thread.
Yeah.
What did you think of the episode, Phil?
So I think you're right, and it's very hard to talk about it like a normal Futurama episode. Like, I feel like you have to meet it on its own terms, which is really silly.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and non-canon and experimental almost.
Yeah.
Where they just kind of go, oh, what can we revisit? What can we include? How can we get away with stuff because there's no consequences?
How balls to the walls can we go?
Yeah.
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 We
How many
should just
references can we
should just
throw?
kill everyone off. Why not?
Which for me makes it kind of sit outside the rest of Futurama. It doesn't feel like it's worth tackling in the same way that we might tackle a regular episode and go, okay, what are its merits? Which parts do and don't work? I think overall it's a very fun episode because they let themselves go a little bit and has like some really awesome moments in it. All of us, I think, were like, what? And like, I think, so for instance, Elle and I really loved the fact that there were random zebras in the forest.
Oh,
in
I
the
think
first
I was
section.
laughing at the kangaroo.
Yeah,
Oh, were you? I was laughing at zebras.
It was
The kangaroos
kangaroos,
come by.
zebras, and deer all in the same place,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
just found that hilarious.
We both were like, why are the cones explosive? And then we were, like, and then we just accepted it both
Just, like,
simultaneously.
exploded in giggles, you might say. Yeah, because the pine cones explode, but they were infected by
It's a virus.
germs.
With germs, yeah.
Not any explosive
or
material.
like, I don't know,
So I really-
nuclear, like, activity. It wasn't
Yeah.
nuclear.
it was just so silly.
At
Yeah.
what point does germ make explosion?
I don't know. Ask X-Men.
Well,
at what point does mutation make superpowers?
I think that
well.
I think it already answered that in when because all the pine cones were used up. No, all the pine trees were used up for emergency toilet paper during the 50-year squirts. So some viruses can be explosive, just not in ways that you think.
Pine cones.
This is the virus learning corner.
It has 3 songs. I didn't really follow all the lyrics to all the
I
songs.
find the sound mixing of Futurama to be really weird
with the songs,
sometimes.
yeah.
Like, I could not make out almost all of the Kwanzaa song.
No.
I mean, I followed the bit where he lost interest in his own topic halfway
And
through.
he's gonna
That's
leave.
hilarious.
Yeah.
It was mixed better than it was in the movies. I remember there's one of the Futurama
Mark Hamill's
movies,
song.
and we like the song was just decibels above everything.
Yeah.
Any of the lyrics, yeah. You
Like-
really cannot make out the lyrics, but like you know that they're fun. Well, you know that certainly a lot of like clever wordplay and shit's in there, and it's like I want to know
reckon
your
I pick up-
secrets.
I reckon I pick up like 30% of it.
Yeah.
40%
yeah.
of it.
Enough to know that they're talking about Kwanzaa and
Yeah.
Christmas. And
Yeah,
it's on topic.
Similar for Robonica was a bit easier because I don't.
It's got such a cutting voice, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Bender, yeah.
Yeah,
John DiMaggio.
but
Well,
even,
he's a folk singer as well.
Did you guys?
He's in a
get-
band.
Really?
Yeah, I remember I told you this. Sometimes he guests on this
Sure, we don't
particular
remember
band.
anything you tell us.
Clearly.
Gotta listen back to the episode.
I still don't remember.
This podcast is infuriating for our listeners because they're like, you said that last time.
oh, that was the other thing I was going to say.
Yes.
A Norwegian seed guard, or Fargo seed guard,
Yes.
was voiced by Dan Weber, the writer,
Ah,
nice.
Futurama writer.
he does not do a good Norwegian accent.
Yes, that's why he's a writer and not a voice.
Yeah, he definitely does Minnesota.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
If that just is his
Oh.
Yeah.
accent, like
Could be.
maybe that just is his voice.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
I feel like Gunderson is like a sly reference to
Marge
Fargo as well.
Gunderson.
Gunderson?
Yeah. You were saying about, but the thing is, right? So this is a John DiMaggio robot center, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Goodwin
Yeah.
doesn't come back.
No. But
No.
like, his song, I find it really like just the clearest one was the Robonica song, and I'm like, just fix your sound levels, guys. I want to
Yeah,
hear.
I mean, you got Coolio. You got to make it stand out.
If you gotta get Coolio.
If you got your Coolio, use your Coolio.
I was going to point out the albino humping worm is a gag that no one, I don't know, I felt like I only appreciated, but just because I was really infuriated that it's the Alaskan bullworm from SpongeBob SquarePants.
Does it look exactly the same?
It looks exactly the same because Sandy's like, there's nothing like I can take on anything. I've taken on bulls, I've taken on worms, and I could take on Alaska, but it's the Alaskan bullworm. It's just basically like this giant, like white worm with teeth and stuff. And yeah, it's basically the same.
Yeah, I was thinking, does it have a humping
It's a
capability?
children's show,
Oh, right, sorry.
you monster.
You wouldn't know that from Reddit, where everybody fucking loves the
yeah.
SpongeBob.
Can you make SpongeBob sexy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make anything sexy.
Hell yeah.
Have you seen his
Squidward's
calves?
already sexy. Like,
Oh no, he's hot. That's Squidly.
Squidly.
Yeah, his arch rival. This is not the SpongeBob podcast, as I'm sure Phil is trying to infer with his disappointed look.
Let me ask you something. If Nixon was president and Dick Cheney was the vice
We
president,
would all be fucked.
fuck me.
It's no.
would it be worse than we have now?
Well, who's the vice? Mike Pence. Got
Mike
it.
Pence,
Cool.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, who's worse, Pence or Cheney?
I think Cheney is definitely more.
Machiavellian.
Is better, like at the job.
Yeah, competent at the job.
Wait,
and
and that's-
he's not like a weird religious Puritan.
Yeah, but like that's the worst part is that he is competent.
Yeah, I
Can you
guess.
imagine if we had Trump and Dick Cheney? Like we might as well just call it a day.
Well, what would you call Nixon on the scale of competent to incompetent?
he wasn't
Well,
completely incompetent.
He wasn't
president.
incompetent.
He was paranoid.
It's just
yeah.
yeah, and also like
A
when
crook.
you that and like you know they really steered into the like we can make a person's actions work against them with like the televised because that was the first televised conference like presidential debate, wasn't it? Because they were like, JFK is a stunning specimen of a man. He looks healthy, like he's got that glow about him. He's very charismatic.
Yeah.
And Nixon is this weird, sweaty
Flabby
dude.
dude, yeah.
Keeps striking his jowls. like,
How much of Nixon? I was thinking
epitome
about
of
this the other day
trustworthy.
because it's both Simpsons and Futurama that does it, where he doesn't just talk like that. He just does noises. He's like,
He's
did he ever do
basically-
that?
I'm pretty sure he never said a roo.
He's basically like, what is it? Boss Nass?
Boss Nass.
The lead Gungan who goes...
I believe they may have played up some small aspects.
No, it's 100% accurate.
I don't believe it.
It's weird that they have this kind of folkloric figure for being such a...
They just hate
so
Nixon.
evil, right? It's amazing.
It's fair.
I guess we
It's
have...
very fair.
in the UK, we have Thatcher, but
Yeah.
it's not as... She isn't as cartoonable, I guess.
Yeah.
She's
just...
I wonder if
she's
she'll,
kind of evil.
I wonder if she'll turn up.
Maybe.
In a jar, maybe.
That's a jar.
And Australia doesn't really have... Oh, we have one memeable.
We definitely have evil prime ministers.
Well,
It's
Tony
just-
Abbott was pretty memeably evil.
Yes.
I was thinking more of the guy who could like drink a yard glass in record time.
Oh,
He's
Bob,
pretty.
Hawke.
Yeah, Bob Hawke. Bob Hawke is pretty iconic.
He wasn't a bad prime
And then
prime
you've got
minister.
one who like disappeared. Like I'm not talking evil. I'm talking like
Just
cartoonable,
memification. Yeah.
memeable and cartoonable. And then I would say the other one would be the one
Harold Holt.
Harold Holt, who just disappeared into the sea one
Where's
day.
the prime minister? Don't know.
So to any international listeners, we will insert one in your location. We'll just insert names that fit
Yes,
those
send
respective
International
people.
listeners,
Send us
go
your
on Wikipedia. Look up some of our cool Australian prime ministers.
We named a
We're not gonna-
We named a swimming pool after Harold Holt, the prime minister who we lost at sea.
Yes.
This is the country we live in. Welcome to Australia.
I just think they assume that Andy has been running the country for the last 30 years.
Andy, Mr. Prime Minister.
They're not wrong.
If only.
Unless we have anything else to talk about.
Why isn't I don't know, this crosses into fashion corner slightly, but why isn't that woman, she's wearing a beekeeping hat but no other
Nothing
she's
else.
just got
It has
her
a hole in it for her cigarette as well, which kind of defeats the point of having a beekeeping
cigarette
hat.
and no other part of the suit, like just her kind of almost negligee. What the fuck? What the fuck's happening there?
She defeats the bees with sexuality.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dialogue. What was
You
it?
were so pleased when she showed up in that role.
She
Yeah.
just made me laugh. The fact that you would put the hat on but nothing else
Like, why
just made
bother?
me
Got a hole in it.
Why bother?
really, really laugh. Although she's probably the best beekeeper now that I realise it, because she's always smoking, and smoke
It
is what
calms
you
the bees, yeah.
smoke what you use to calm the bees down.
Yeah,
So,
right.
There you go.
My quick fire things are barking snakes.
Yes.
Ho, 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 everyone's dead. Mole coffins. Oh no, my ice cream sandwich.
Oh.
Are you laughing too hard to make it through your list?
I think I mentioned this, the way Coolio loses interest in his own song. He goes, yeah, right, I'm losing interest. I better bounce. It's just like in the middle of his song.
He knows.
It's like there'll be no Kwanzaa, just like before 1966. I've got Let's Go Back There, but I have no idea why.
To the bee planet. To the bee,
the
to
one
the
that
beehive.
nearly
Yes.
killed them all.
Yeah, it's like, let's go back there. Everyone's like,
to
yeah.
that place we say we'd never go back to. Let's go back there.
Yeah. And say something else, which again, I have no idea why. I've got.
I
You've
have
taken most of mine, which is because that was the beekeeper one, which is she said like a Bender says back to her, you should say something else for some reason.
Yeah, she says,
live fast, die young, and leave a good-looking corpse.
yeah,
You should say something else.
The only other one I have that you
So
haven't
annoying.
said was a lot of a Norwegian seed guard, which is oh yeah, we just want to go and rummage around. Oh, so okay.
He probably doesn't get a lot of visitors, now that I think about it.
And then just his other line of his, which is there any chance of decontamination?
cross contamination.
I have a few. I shouldn't say that because it reveals a lot about my childhood. Anyway,
Say it.
Just Bender as the Nutcracker reminded me of an animated film of the Nutcracker that was actually, I think, my first sexual awakening.
The Nutcracker.
Hello.
Yeah, he was really handsome. And then it's like so sad when he turns back into like a wooden nutcracker. No? Anyone?
No, I've never seen the Nutcracker.
someone private messaged me. This is universally relatable. I love how smug Al Gore is. I love that the oil wrestling fembots are not being paid. It's just an audition. Well, I don't love it, but it did make me laugh. The fact that just pressure and threats were all that everyone needed to become really good at instruments really fast.
Yes.
It's brilliant because Fry is having no problem with the holophone.
Who was playing what? Because Farnsworth was on the violin.
He was on a fiddle or a violin, yeah.
Zoidberg was on something.
There was an accordion, I swear to God. I don't know.
It was. Zoidberg was on the accordion.
Doesn't someone play like one of those little...
Oh, yeah, that's in the Kwanzaa,
Gypsy
though.
harp.
That's Kwanzaa,
Yeah.
Mathketball, brilliant. And then
Mathketball,
juicer
yes.
straight in the bin.
Yeah. I'll sign it later.
Barbados Slim is
Stop
becoming
inviting him!
sexier by the minute. The fact that he's just like very sexually curious and
he's shirtless for winter.
hits on Zoidberg. Yeah, he has to
He has a scarf.
He has to twitch the snow off his pecs.
Yeah. Oh, great.
And he says, all night long.
And he says something about his like
night
how
long.
everything's changing, just like his sexual proclivities.
Yeah, and he's like getting closer to Zoidberg. It's very sexy. I like it.
Ooh.
I like that the beeswax place is called Mine Your Own Beeswax. I laughed so hard at that.
Marketing.
That is a good sign, guys. I
Yes,
missed that.
they are silent like the deadly Prius. And the fact that men are dumb. Because while the Queen is Phil is crossing his arms. Are you about to not all men me? No.
That is reverse sexism.
Men are dumb. Yes, it is. Enjoy. Because all the bees that are being all stupid, the queen bee is affected by the parasites, but she's just like, whatever. But all the men are just fighting over the dumbest fucking things. Like one stang the other one's wife. How can there be another wife? All bees are male.
Oh,
yeah. Are the
Okay,
drones all
anyway.
female? Is the queen female drones, and then a few bees that are just exist to impregnate the queen? I think.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works.
there you go.
I think so. But most of them
Most
are
of them
male.
would just be. They all have male voices as well. Which is,
Anyway, basically, men
and
are,
a shotgun,
men are dumb, and I appreciate that.
and also the bees explode when they ran into
Kamikaze bees.
Kamikaze bees.
Yeah.
I need to talk about something. Hang on. Does anyone remember the sound I made when we went to the Norwegian seed vault?
No?
No.
Oh, I was really pleased with myself. It's because not only is it a real place.
Oh, that's right.
It looks exactly like that.
You were really excited to see the seed vault.
It's a real place. It's called the Svalbard Global Seed Vault.
That's very
and
cool.
It's in the ice, and it has it's buried under the ice, and it has
all the seeds.
all the seeds in it.
That's brilliant.
In case we fuck up the planet. I mean, when we fuck up the planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shame that wasn't like a... I mean, they have that plot in Mad Max Fury Road with the Keeper of the Sea.
seed
Yeah,
vault?
that's
Yes.
right.
That's
yeah,
very
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
It just it was like it was a nerd moment for me. I was like, oh, that's a real thing. I really like that.
You
I
sat there and said,
saying,
I get that reference.
I get that. And
I
it's
get
great.
that
And the
reference.
fact that the cartoon of it is exactly like the
Accurate.
real
Yeah.
world place. It's really
What about the
pleasing to me.
germ collection place?
Yeah, it's right next door. It looks exactly the same, yeah.
So we have a vote that we have to get to, which is, I believe, the still ever reigning late Philip J. Fry.
It's an awesome episode.
Which is the one that I'm going to vote for.
Yeah.
Against
Spoilers.
against the Futurama Holiday Spectacular.
I mean, do you have to show you're working? This isn't really an
look,
episode.
I'm not going to.
Show me in basketball.
This is a fun episode.
Yeah.
I laughed a lot. There's a lot of jokes and a lot of one-liners that I'm really happy with. But overall, as an episode that has a wider scope within the entire story of Futurama
Yeah.
as a whole, it just makes more sense.
It's just apples and oranges, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, however, what we can do is we can rank the stories.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
which we usually do.
I'm fairly sure none of us
The
are going to...
three nearly identical stories.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure, but none of us are going to, vote for this over Philip J. Fry. Am I
No,
correct?
no.
Cool. But yeah, so Sean, you just went,
Well,
but would you like to rank the...
I would put Christmas last,
Uh-huh.
as in life.
Whoa.
Xmas last. And then what have we got? We've got
Kwanzaa and
Rabonica
Rabonica.
and Kwanzaa. You know what? I think I have to put Kwanzaa at top because I learnt the most about the particular holiday.
and all the
Did
words
you?
that they use and the concepts that they...
Ujama and
There's like unity,
Kuba?
creativity.
Are they in Swahili? No, I don't know.
I don't know Swahili.
So as bubblegum tape, we got
It's his name now. That's his
Tape.
name now.
Tape.
He wanted me to be educated, and I was educated.
Right.
And I also had my favorite gag, which is Zoidberg hoping that someone would come to talk about Kwanzaa. He slowly turns to the wall,
He's just waiting.
and Kwanzaa bot bursts through.
He's just waiting.
So for me, it's Kwanzaa, Rabanica, Xmas.
So for me, it's Kwanzaa first, partially because of the reasons you said, partially because I love the bees, even though them
Not the
being
bees.
weird hicks is not great. But I do just like the
Some of
concept
them are
of the
Italians.
space bees.
Yeah. Italian
Also,
hicks.
a creepy weird old lady is great as well. Then I'm going to put Xmas next.
Yeah.
I do like that they incinerate the entire world in that one. That's very pleasing to me. And Robot Santa's fun as well. I'm going to put Robonica last because it doesn't feature the Hanukkah zombie and no Mark Hamill, and that just is
a
disappointing
waste
to
of
me.
your Mark.
They didn't
of
use their Mark
potential
Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I really.
If you have an opportunity to use Mark Hamill, use
Call him,
Mark
call
Hamill.
him.
I'm
Get
sure
the
he'd-
Hanukkah zombie
I'm sure
back.
he'd do it.
Yeah. I
Ellen?
fucking love shit like that. I think I'm going to put Xmas first. Like, I really did like the trees sprouting and the fact that, like it was very clever. There was too much oxygen, so, like, a single flame would make everything go up. I quite liked that conclusion. It's probably going to be Kwanzaa then, and then Rabanica last. I got a bit iffy about Kwanzaa. I don't know. Like, I just felt like they were shitting on Kwanzaa a lot.
Don't worry, everybody shits on Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
It's literally an American thing to
Don't.
shit on Kwanzaa.
But, like,
As an American, I can verify that.
yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, hey, man, I want to learn. Like, I
But they do. They teach you about the
Yeah,
concept.
a little
of
bit,
Kwanzaa. Okay,
yeah. But I couldn't hear any of the songs, so I was like, maybe this is information. Is this educational?
There's unity.
I don't know. There's unity.
Chocolate cake.
We are unified
Yeah,
as
but
well.
I think I enjoyed that a lot more than I did Rabonica.
Fair.
Because at least I did get, like, you know, something a bit more. And I really love the Kwanzaa outfits.
Yeah.
The tablecloths.
Tablecloth.
The Kwanzaa outfits.
So we have a voice to quickly get to, and I'm going to throw the Norwegian / Fargoian / Minnesotan
Minnesota.
seed guard
Or
at us all,
I need a good line for
which we all did before the
we
show.
just did no.
No.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I suppose.
Okay.
What what do you want to do?
Okay.
Oh,
What you them there doing visiting here?
What are you damn doing here?
I think we've nailed it.
We've done it.
We've all been veering into Minnesota.
No.
Gee.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
So,
Oh, okay then.
ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you would like to get in contact with us, you can do so by contacting us firstly at babybeardmedia@gmail.com. What are you laughing for?
I think your accent just
I just think.
whoa, just came roaring back.
think we're just
I
gonna-
stuck the landing.
I think we're just going to do a poll whether we should. I think people should vote on whether we should only have American Sean or Australian
Oh
Sean.
Yeah,
no.
look out
That
for
could go
that
very
poll,
wrong.
guys.
Could go very wrong.
Minnesotan Sean is a popular
yeah,
third option.
If you have strong opinions about that, email Sean.
I'm sure he'd love to hear about.
babybeardmedia@gmail.com.
Oh, I would. I'll answer in American.
You can also share strong opinions on our Facebook as well, where I post random memes from Mark
He
Hamill
loves
every so
those.
often.
He loves those random memes.
Yeah, you can also find out about any projects that we're working on,
Yep.
and you should be looking out for some new stuff this year. Ellen's going to be hosting a new show, hopefully.
Yep.
It's not locked in yet, so no, don't come after us if it's not there in 2 weeks.
Oh shit!
But there's also a cool cyberpunk project in the work, which we've
Yeah.
been teasing for a while. We love to hear from you on Facebook at BabyBeardMedia.
And you can do the same thing on Instagram. It's the same Baby Beard Media. And sometimes I post memes, but quite often I just post little glimpses of things that we have been working on. Like, you know, you get to see a fun little time lapse of us just sitting in chairs. You get to see kind of like sketches and stuff that
How
is
the sausage is made.
I'll. If that's something you want on Instagram,
with onions on the bottom.
if that's something you want on Instagram, message me. I'm more than willing to accommodate to all our lovely fans. And we also have polls and stuff that you can vote on. My most favorite one is I asked people about fictional characters they have crushes on. A few people added to the polls, so we had Mrs. Krabappel and Rogue from X-Men were a few of the standouts. So yeah, do that if you'd like to get involved and get yourself featured on the Baby Beard Instagram page. Fuck, what did it? Page. I wanted to say page. God damn it.
And finally, the best way you can help us is if you go on to either the podcast app or iTunes specifically. Go in there, give us a little rate, a 5-star, and a review. It is the best way to skyrocket us up the charts, or, of course, word of mouth. Use your words. Use your American accent. Use your Australian accent. Use any accent to access your friends and people to tell them.
Have you heard about this podcast?
No.
Oh, no. What's it about? It's Canadian. I don't know.
I do like me some Futurama.
And let them know that if they tune in next Monday or Sunday, depending where you are in the world, they can join us for Silence of the Clamps.
Whoop. It's just going to be a minute of silence.
And with the clamps. And you can...
Just clamp noises.
So, guys, it has been fun. And I have been the all-American Sean.
Spinning a dreidel, I've been Phil.
I'm a single woman who takes baths. I'm Ellen.
Bye.
Goodbye. How do you say bye in American? Howdy.
Adios, amigos.
Have a nice day.
Bang, 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 bang. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
And then when you want to say bye, you say hasta la vista.
Yeah.
Oh, hi there.
Oh, hey there.
Well,
that's going to leave a mark.
I mean, he is actually...
Oh, no.
He's meant to be Norwegian.
Geez.
He is clearly
He's
Minnesotan.
His character's fucking name is Norwegian Seed Guard.
That's so weird.
maybe
Because he
he-
sounds fucking like every character from Fargo.
There's a good reason for that.
Because he is from...
What does a
You'll
Norwegian
find
person
out
sound
next
like?
week. No. What's that?
What does a Norwegian person sound like?
Ooh,
What's the
hey,
accent?
how are you?
Oh, they do have... they do have the... not the... Oh, that's
Irish.
Irish.
Sorry, what?
They do have
Any sisters, I
Rory
don't know.
and Kieran. I can stop now. There we go. Hello, I'm Sean again.
Whoa! When did you get here, eh?
Hi.
got booed off the stage once.
Oh, no.
All right, Chris, I'm sorry. I want to stop now. Have fun with that edit.
Bye.
Boy.
Kisses.
Phil will eat the mic one last time for
No.
you, Chris.
Stop.